Good afternoon, everybody. So today we are going to be going over the citations assignment. It's the next big skills building exercise, preparing for the reader's response, or sorry, the exploratory essay assignment. So what I'm going to do for this assignment is I'm going to just go over both of the articles that are going to be used in the exercise, and we're going to be looking at the folder, at the Unit 2 folder for the assignments that are coming up. And just to remind everybody, we do not have class on Monday. So that means that between now and the next video, the topic proposal is going to be due. Well, the topic proposal is going to be due on the day that the next video is posted. So the next video will be posted next Wednesday, and that's October 13th. The day that the topic proposal is due. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but let's just go into screen sharing mode for right now, and I will talk about the exercise for this week. Now, what we're going to be doing here, we'll find it in our class under content. So go to our class on Blackboard, click on content, and you're going to find it in the Unit 2 folder. So we're going to scroll down, and you'll find it at the bottom, Citations Exercise 2. So clicking on Citations Exercise 2, we're going to see that there are two linked articles here. And these are the articles that are going to provide for you the material for the exercise. So my suggestion is to just open up both of those articles and have them open while you're doing the exercise, right? So the first article here is from National Public Radio, that's npr.org, and it's this one right here. National Public Radio, just 12 people are behind most of the vaccine hoaxes on social media, research shows. Now, this article has both a listening component and a reading component. A lot of the material is the same between the listening and the reading, but it's a little bit different. The interview segment is a little bit different. It's edited in a way that it's not exactly word for word the same as the article. You'll notice that I suggest both listening and reading, because if you have a listening component, why not also use it, right? Why not just, take advantage of everything that piece of material has to offer you. So this is the article part, right? And then the listening component right here, the 4-minute listen right here. Okay, now the other article here is from NBC News, and it has some embedded video in it. Once again, feel free to look at the video portion of this. I'm just resizing the window for my laptop here so that we can actually see it. Bear with me while I do that. And you will see here that they are both on the subject of COVID misinformation, but they have sort of different angles on it, right? This is the video portion. I'm not going to play that right now. You guys can do it on your own time, okay? There are 2 embedded videos here, but they are, this one is specifically about, so I suppose if I could link them in terms of topic and theme. The National Public Radio article is about the origin of online COVID misinformation. In other words, getting behind the scenes and looking at who are these 12 people behind most of the vaccine hoaxes on social media. And then the NBC News article is about the results of COVID misinformation. The results of it are people taking things into their own hands and acting on the misinformation, assuming that doctors and healthcare workers are their enemies, or that the vaccines are poisoning people or any other kinds of misinformation that they see online. So the relationship here between misinformation and social conflict, that's what we're focusing on here in this unit. So how about this exercise? Well, let's take a look at it. Citations exercise 2 practices 2 different writing skills. One of them is summarizing from a source with a source introduction using the according to template. So there's the skill of summarizing a point from the article, and then there's the skill of introducing a source, right? Source introduction and summarizing from the source. So these are the 2 skills we're going to be practicing. These are going to be important in the essay. So again, the articles are linked right there. You're going to be using this template, the according to template, to write a fully cited source introduction to each source with the reporter's name, the media outlet, and the date of publication. So where do you find all that? All right, so going back to our sources, let's find Article 1, which is, got a lot of windows open here. NPR, just 12 people are behind most vaccine sources. Okay, I have to find the name, right? The name of the reporter, aha, there she is at the top, Shannon Bond, right? The media outlet, well, I have to scroll to the top of the web page and I find National Public Radio. In this case, it's Wisconsin Public Radio, but National Public Radio is a national media outlet, right? So it's linked to New York Public Radio, it's linked to Boston or Massachusetts Public Radio, you know, go all the way throughout the country, and every different state has an NPR affiliate. So we want to click on the logo. And clicking on the logo, right, we can see that there's a lot more stories here. We scroll down to the bottom and we find out, what is National Public Radio, right? So you can find out from clicking down here, right? What we want to do, though, is we want to label this News National, right? We want to label this as National Public Radio. So this is our source. That's what NPR stands for, National Public Radio. All right, so Shannon Bond, National Public Radio, right? Reporting on what date? If you say Wisconsin Public Radio, that's okay too. Just that technically this was run on every single affiliate, not just Wisconsin Public Radio. So now we're looking at our first source, right? Just 12 people are behind all those hoaxes, right? So this was May 14th, 2021, updated May 14th, 2021. All right, so now we've got the name, we've got the media outlet, and then we've got May 14th, 2021. The time is not important. We want just the date, right? All of that goes in the according to template. So this would read then, according to Shannon Bond, reporting for National Public Radio on May 4th, 2021, just 12 people are behind most of the online misinformation on COVID vaccine. Now comes the summarizing part. One example of this misinformation is, and you're going to have to get it from the article. All right, so this is why it's important to read the article carefully. So you're going to go down here and you are going to find an example of a lie, an example of an untruth told and circulated on social media. And this article will give you many examples. It's your job to choose from one of the many examples, right? So look at this one. denying that COVID exists, decrying doctors as being in some way motivated by other, right? So you're just going to have to read through and you will choose one piece of disinformation. And the goal here, you're not going to put it in quotation marks, you're going to put it in your own words, okay? So put it in your own words. So that's what the summarizing skill is all about, right? One example of this is misinformation is, so instead of using the exact words of the article, you're going to turn this, you're going to summarize. Summarizing usually involves using fewer words. Sometimes it involves using simpler words. And it is important. It's an important skill to do in order to make sure that the information you're using from this source flows well with your sentence, because you're not always going to be able to quote, right? You need to both quote and summarize from the article. So in this exercise, we practice the summarizing. Paragraph 2, this calls us to go to the second article, right? Some people are even refusing hospital treatment for their loved ones with COVID. According to, right? So this is really, it's 2 paragraphs, and the 2 paragraphs should link smoothly together, right? Because remember the relationship between the 2 articles, the origin of the misinformation, and then the second article is what people are doing with that misinformation, right? So now we have another according to template to fill out. So once again, according to is always a person. It's never according to the title of the article. It's never according to vigilante treatments, anti-vaccine groups pushed, no. And it's not even according to NBC News. It's always according to a person, right? So we need to find that reporter's name. Where's that reporter's name? Aha, there it is. There he is, Ben Collins, reporting for NBC News. On date, you should find the date very close to the name, right? September 24th, 2021. Again, the time doesn't matter. Time doesn't matter. That time will change because the updates change the time all the time. So leave the time out. The original report was filed September 24th, 2021 by Ben Collins. All right, so now we found that. This misinformation is leading some people to avoid the hospital and try unproven treatments and false cures. For example, all right, so now read the sentence a few times. Leading some people to avoid the hospital and try unproven treatments and false cures. You need to find an example in the article of people avoiding the hospital and trying unproven treatments and false cures for COVID. Okay, so that means going through this article and seeing where they talk about that. Where did they mention false cures? I see some information about that here, right? I see some information about that here. So you need to get into the article. It might not be in the first 2 paragraphs. You might have to get into it a little bit, but you need to find that information and then summarize it in your own words in the example part. So this might be 1 or 2 sentences, right? You've got room to type. You're going to type directly into the assignment sheet for this one. And then it mentions Facebook. Now there's a name that's been in the news a lot. If you all have been following it, we just recently have been having a lot of Facebook stories. Yesterday, Facebook was offline along with a bunch of its affiliate sites like WhatsApp and Instagram. There was also a whistleblower, a former Facebook employee who recently gave a lot of information to the press about how Facebook knows that a lot of its information that is circulated is false, but still does nothing about it. So it shouldn't be hard to find a reference to Facebook in this article, and there it is. Okay. All right. So You'll have to scroll down to the article. Meanwhile, Facebook's response to the problem of COVID misinformation on its platform has been to, and then you're going to have to find what have been the actions that Facebook has taken in response to the problem of COVID misinformation on its site. All right, so this is very much a factual representation. So remember that regardless of what your opinion is about Facebook, it doesn't go here. What goes here is what Facebook has done in response to the problem. Okay, so you need to find that in the article. And I promise you, it's in the article. You just need to look for it and put it in your own words. Now, paragraph 3, it's a 3-paragraph assignment. This is where you get to spout off. This is where, whatever your opinion is about these topics, you get to give it here, in my opinion. So whatever that opinion is, you're pretty free on which part of this information you want to weigh in on. Whatever you have the most to say about, that's my guidance. So if you have the most to say about social media's role in COVID misinformation, then talk about that. If you have the most to say about how doctors and nurses need to be treated in a healthcare setting, if you're concerned about them being treated disrespectfully, then if that's what you feel the strongest about, then that's what you're going to say here. If you yourself are confused about the information that you see online and you think there's a real good reason why people are confused and don't know what to believe, that's a place to put it, right here in paragraph 3. Feel free. So you can weigh in on any part of this right here. That's the assignment. And notice that there's a lot in common between this and the essay assignment. So the essay assignment asks you to use 2 in-class sources, cover them in detail, and then weigh in with your own views at the end. You're going to kind of do the same thing in this exercise. I think it should be clear if you read it carefully. Remember that you're going to type directly into the assignment sheet with this one. So I'm going to close it out. I'm going to close out the 2 articles as well, and we're going to find out where it is on Blackboard. So going into our Blackboard site, Citations Exercise 2 is there. The upload prompt for Citations Exercise 2 is right below it. Do make sure that you check the exploratory essay assignment one more time. Now we're not going to have a video posted on Monday, so it's important to be aware of what's due. The exploratory essay assignment, remember, has more than one due date. So October 13th, the topic proposal is due. So don't worry a whole lot about the topic proposal. There is information about the topic proposal. Oops, I got to fix that. It's not due October 10th, it's due October 13th. I will fix that right after this. So the topic proposal is to get feedback from your instructor on what you plan to write about, okay? So if you have only a general idea of what you want to write about, that's fine. We'll sharpen it up in the feedback period, okay? So topic proposal due before midnight. If you want to check Blackboard before the next time before the next class video is posted, then check Blackboard on Thursday, October 7th. On Thursday, October 7th, I will place the upload prompt for the topic proposal with a little bit of guideline on, what the topic proposal entails. But it's basically just a 2 to 3 paragraph explanation of what you want to write about. That's all. So tell me, what is your topic? What are your 2 sources? And it will be formatted as a worksheet that you're going to fill in, and then you're going to turn that in, and we will talk about it in more depth in the next video, because remember that it will be due midnight the day that the next video is posted, but it will be posted a week before that. So please look for it Thursday, October 7th, or anytime over the holiday weekend. And you can get a sense of what's going to be expected for that topic proposal. Don't worry, because it's not a full paper, it's just a couple of paragraphs. And that's it. I am going to turn off the screen sharing for now. Have a great holiday weekend, everybody, and please email me if you have any questions. Remember that the last discussion board post was due on Tuesday night. So if you have not yet done that discussion board post, please do. Or if you just posted and didn't respond to 2 other students, it's time to go back in there and do those responses, okay? Because that was due on Tuesday night. So everybody, I will see you again on Wednesday, October 13th. Thanks a lot.